Virgo. Welcome back to Starspoken Oracle. This is episode 9 of your weekly reading, and today we are reading for Virgo, for the week of July 1st through July 7th, 2026. This retrograde season is not a warning for you, Virgo, it is an invitation to do what you already do best. Every week I shuffle the deck for all 12 signs and let the cards fall where they need to, but this week's sky is doing more of the talking than usual. Two fast-moving planets are about to shake things loose right in the middle of a slower, more introspective retrograde season, and that tension between speed and patience shows up in your card whether you notice it right away or not. Before we get to your card, let's talk about what the sky is actually doing this week, because it touches every single sign, and it shapes exactly how your card wants to be read. The cosmic weather. This week's sky is anything but quiet. Mercury is retrograde in Cancer, a shift that began June 29th and holds through July 23rd, which means communication, travel, and old business all move a little slower, a little more prone to mix-ups, and a lot more likely to circle back to unfinished conversations from the past. Do not panic about the delays. Retrograde season is not punishment, it is a review period, and if you use it that way instead of fighting it, this can be one of the more productive stretches of your year. Then, on July 4th, two things happen within hours of each other. Mars forms an exact, volatile conjunction with Uranus at 3 degrees of Gemini, a combustible pairing of raw drive and sudden disruption that has been building since late June and finally snaps into focus. Expect the unexpected this week, sudden changes of plan, flashes of insight, or a jolt of energy that moves faster than your ability to plan for it. On the same day, Venus glides into confident, warm-hearted Leo, softening the sharper edges of the week with a dose of romance, creativity, and self-assurance. So the week has two moods running at once, Mercury retrograde asking you to slow down, review, and finish what you started, while Mars, Uranus, and Venus in Leo push you towards sudden action and bold self-expression. The trick is not choosing one over the other, it is knowing which parts of your life need the pause, and which parts need the leap. Every reading this week, for every sign, is really a variation on that same question: where in your life is patience the answer, and where is boldness overdue? This is episode 9 of Starspoken Oracle, which means we are now solidly past the midpoint of the year and sliding into the back half of summer, a natural point for stock-taking even without a retrograde underlining it. Whatever you started back in January has had 6 months to prove itself. This week's mixed signals of pause and leap are, in a sense, the sky asking you to check in on exactly that. For you, Virgo, Mercury rules your sign as well as this retrograde, which means this famously tricky season is actually built for your particular strengths, not against them. Your card. Now, Virgo, let's turn the card. I shuffled the deck thinking about your week, about the energy the stars are handing you, and about what you need to hear rather than what might be comfortable to hear. The card that came up for you this week is Eight of Pentacles. Take a breath with that one, Virgo. Let's talk about what it actually means for you right now, and why the timing of this particular card, in this particular week, is not a coincidence. What it means. The Eight of Pentacles shows a craftsperson at the bench, carving coin after coin with total focus, surrounded by finished work. This is the card of mastery through repetition, not the flashy start, but the quiet, unglamorous middle where skill actually gets built. Because Mercury rules your sign as well as the sky's current retrograde, this week is unusually well aligned with your natural gift for revision, review, and refinement. There is a quiet, easily missed lesson in the Eight of Pentacles. Mastery is built in private, one repetition at a time, long before anyone else notices the result. This week rewards exactly that kind of invisible effort. Here's something worth watching for as the week unfolds, Virgo. You might notice this as the itch to start something new instead of finishing what is already on your desk. Resist it this week specifically. The shiny new idea will still be there in 3 weeks, and the current project needs you more right now. The areas of your life. Let's walk through where this lands, Virgo. In love and relationships. In relationships, the small consistent gestures matter more than any grand plan this week. Showing up, following through, doing the quiet work of care. Single Virgo, this is not a week for a dramatic leap, it is a week for showing up reliably to something already in motion. A small, consistent gesture, the same one, repeated, will land better this week than one large romantic gesture. Reliability is the love language the sky favors for you right now. In work and career. Professionally, this is your season, not your obstacle. While everyone else struggles with Mercury retrograde, editing, revising, and perfecting a project already underway plays directly to your strength. Do not start something new this week, improve something that already exists. If a project feels unfinished or imperfect, this is the week to return to it rather than abandon it for something new. Mercury retrograde is quite literally built for editing. In money and resources. Financially, steady and incremental beats bold and risky this week. Keep doing the unglamorous thing, the automatic saving, the small consistent contribution, and let compounding do the rest. Automate what you can this week: a saving transfer, a bill payment, a small recurring contribution, and let the system carry weight your willpower does not have to. And in health and energy. Your body responds well to routine and to skill building right now: a class, a practice, a repeated habit refined rather than replaced. Consistency over intensity. A skill-based practice, an instrument, a language, a physical discipline responds especially well to repetition this week. Small daily reps beat one big session. And one more area worth naming this week: your own growth. Your growth edge is recognizing that finished does not mean perfect. Some of what you are revising this week is already good enough to ship. Notice where perfectionism has quietly become procrastination in disguise. Your guidance for the week. Before the practical advice, a word on timing, Virgo, because this week's sky moves in a specific shape. This is a steady week rather than a dramatic one, which suits you well. Early week is best for reviewing and revising. By the weekend, as Venus shifts into Leo, a small social or romantic opportunity may appear. Accept it without overthinking whether you have earned the break first. So what do you actually do with all of this? Do not rush. Refine. This is the week your patience quietly outperforms everyone else's urgency. Virgo, you were built for exactly this kind of week. Let your quiet consistency be the thing that outperforms everyone else's noise. If you take one thing from this reading into your week, Virgo, let it be that. Not as a rule to follow perfectly, but as a direction to lean toward when you are not sure which way to turn. Come back to your card if the week gets confusing. Eight of Pentacles is simpler advice than it looks at first glance. Closing. Before you go, Virgo, here is a one-line journal prompt to sit with this week if you want to take this reading further than just listening. Where this week am I being asked to slow down, and where am I being asked to leap? Write down the first honest answer that comes to mind, not the answer that sounds best, just the one that is true. Virgo, here is your affirmation for the week of July 1st to 7th. Say it with me, once, like you mean it. I trust that mastery is built one patient repetition at a time. Carry that with you as you move through this week's Eight of Pentacles. That is your reading for this week. If this landed for you, subscribe so you do not miss episode 10. It drops next Wednesday, with a brand new card for every sign. And if this week's reading was helpful, share it with the Virgo in your life who needs to hear it too. The stars have spoken, Virgo. Until next week.